A fatal stabbing of a teenager here in Birmingham overnight, and also in London, 2 more critically ill, suggesting the bloody tally of 2018 continuing. Today the government acknowledged the scale of the challenge.
Well, I'm very concerned, like anyone, I think, about the huge rise that we've seen in serious violence over the last 3 or 4 years, including, of course, knife crime. And I wish there was sort of one single thing that could be done that would bring it down dramatically. But there's not one thing. I think we need action on many fronts, and that's what we've been pursuing.
And here is someone taking this fight into their own hands. In a disused car wash in Corby, Jack shows me the knives people have volunteered to him over the last month.
The guy that handed in the sword, he was a lot older than myself. He was a middle-aged man with kids of his own. The pepper spray and the axe, that was off a 17-year-old lad.
Jack, you are taking the law into your own hands. This is something the police should be doing, but they're not here.
It's very hard for people to get access to the police or the services.
It's a voluntary amnesty, not an official police drive led by Far and Paul. Begun in London, it's now spread around the country, and Faz will now take the knives to a police station. The trouble will be finding it. Until 2 years ago, this was Corby's only police station, shut in 2017. But here in Northamptonshire and across the country too, towns and rural communities are dealing with increased levels of knife crime and fewer police officers to report it to. There were 732 murders and manslaughters in England and Wales last year, the highest number since 2007. There were a record number of knife crimes, approaching 41,000. That's up by a third since systematic recording began in 2011.
He knows that it'll be a while before any of the police come anywhere near him.
This landlord has 13 CCTV cameras up around his pub, with good reason. He and his customers feel vulnerable.
Because 3 to 4 years ago we had an armed robbery here, and myself and my partner were in bed, and we were dragged out of bed with people with masks and everything like that. The police at that time, there was a great response. But since then, it's just gradually gone downhill to the point now where we're actually scared at times of what's going to happen next. When we got the armed robbery, my daughter was only 15 at the time. I get a bit upset with this.
It's all right, Craig.
She was dragged out of bed by her hair, by the armed robbers. But it still worries me every time we lock these doors, what's going to happen, especially now with no police presence.
There will be police based in Corby again from next month, but as for so much of the country, it will be a reduced presence dealing with an increase in this sort of thing.